Good morning, everybody. Mike here, Northeastern Dirt and Property Maintenance up in Northeast Ontario. Finally, we're getting a nice week-long run of spectacular weather. I mean, everybody's perky and frisky. It's spring breeding season up here, and everybody's all wound up. So, the weather's nice, the sun is out, the birds are jumping all over each other over there. Now, we got robins already in the yard, but unfortunately this year when the robins arrive, there's still over a foot of snow left on the ground. So underneath the trees is where they've been hanging out in their little groups. So last year at this time we had no snow. We already had grass last year at this time, and there was no snow. This year we still got a foot of snow out there, but nothing you can do about that. You just work through it. So what I'm doing this morning, I'll show a whole bunch of different little things going on this morning. I've done a couple things. I want to get some of my equipment. Of course, I've showed you guys these videos already. Maybe you're tired of looking at some maintenance videos, but I can't help it. I got to get stuff in order for the springtime. And one question you guys can comment on, I find it interesting. Do you really think it makes a difference when you pull up to a customer's house with your equipment, how ratty the equipment looks, as long as you can do the job? That's the question I'm going to put forth. Does it matter what your equipment looks like and how it presents itself when you're coming in someone's driveway? Now, let's pretend that the guy that's coming in the driveway, top-notch operator, can do the job efficiently with the rattiest piece of shit of equipment with wore-out pins and bushings and everything that goes along with it, but he's still a good operator and he gets a job done. Do you guys really care when he pulls in what that equipment looks like? I'd really be interested in hearing, because I'm sure that the way the cost of living is today, and I ponder this sometimes myself, do you really care, or do you just want the job done at a fair price and done right? That's the big question, you know? And I know first impression means a lot to a lot of people, but I sometimes wonder, as times change, do people really care? They don't care, or do they? Or do they just care about the price and they don't care who does the job? I'm kind of interested. But anyway, I've always been one to do, as you guys can tell, maintenance on my equipment. Like I said, it's too expensive, and I do like to leave a reasonably good impression, first impression, when I come in that driveway. When I'm meeting and greeting people, I like to have good, clean equipment. That's just me. Not only for my own morals and principles inside, but because it's just so expensive. Stuff is just so expensive nowadays to not take care of. But I'd be interested in hear, because I can see both sides of it. I can honestly see where society's going and how hard it is to make and keep a dollar in your wallet. How maybe less and less people really give a shit about what it looks like. Just get the job done and get going. And give them the most boom for their buck. I can see that side of the situation too, quite clearly. And it's neither here nor there to me. But I try and have an open mind, and I can see both sides of it. It's getting tougher and tougher for people, so I was just kind of curious what you guys think. But anyway, as you can see, the sun is shining and I'm out here. I'm just touching up. I'll show you that ASV. I got that track loader out, and I finished the bucket on that yesterday. And of course, there's going to say, why paint the forks? People are going to say, why paint the forks? The paint's going to get scraped off anyway. And it's very true. But I do it anyway. I hate rusty stuff. If you watch my videos, I just don't like it. And I got the time and I got the old paint. Oh, and another thing here. I don't know about you guys in the States, and it's probably the same way as it is here. I have a newfound respect for Rust-Oleum and Tremclad and these paints. Have they ever shot up in price? Now I treat this stuff like liquid gold. Have you guys noticed the price of a liter of paint in a paint shop compared to pre-COVID? I think a lot of it's scamming. But anyway, Look at the price of Rust-Oleum now and Tremclad and all them, at least here in Canada. And it has shot right up, way up in price. Here, it's pretty much, from what I've seen shopping around, it's pretty much almost doubled in price. The paint in cans. I can't believe how expensive it is. And I've got a lot of paint tucked away here and there, so I gathered it all up. When I was gathering it up when I first moved, I thought, oh, what a pain in the ass all these paint cans are. Some are half, some are full, and I'm thinking, you know, do I need all this paint? Oh, I'm so glad I didn't get rid of it, because I'm checking out paint prices. Unbelievable. But I'm glad I got it. As you can see from moving, somewhere along the line moving here in the last couple years, I pulled this out of the paint tote. Something hit it. Something dropped on it. So anyway, that's where we are. I'm going to show you guys some other stuff I'm up against here. All right. So not only am I cleaning and painting up my stuff, working outside, beautiful weather. In fact, I'm going to be overheated with this coat on right shortly. And there's the ASV. I pulled that out. Got that puppy all painted out. Looks good. Of course the paint's going to get scraped off, but hey, that's fine. So I got that thing out. And something else too. The top kick. Look at the snow. The snow's almost gone around the top kick, almost around them wheel covers. I would have had this top kick out sooner with that flat deck rolled kicked off this, but I couldn't get it out simply because the wheel covers were oversized wheel covers. They froze right in the ground. So I really didn't want to wreck the wheel covers, and they're still partially frozen in the ice right to the ground because they're oversized, and all the slack got frozen in the ground. So, and not a big deal anyway. So the top kit's got to go for a safety yet. I got to get that thing done. I e-tested it and no problem. I think this top kick blows. I believe you're allowed maybe 30 parts per million, 25 or 30 parts per million on an e-test with this top kick. And I think it blows 3. And it has for the last, well, since I've owned it, it's blown anywhere from 2 to 3 parts per million on your soot. I guess it's basically soot coming out of the stack. So the thing blows clean, very clean. Hopefully it blows clean for quite a while. 3116 cat, and she blows clean. And it just turned 30,000 kilometers. This thing just turned 18,000 miles, 1993 cat. Top kick 3116 cat. Anyway, that thing's got to go for safety. So it's got to come out of here. That's another spring chore I got to do. And I'll show you what I got set up for firewood. Let's go have a little look over here. Here's going to be the storage area for firewood this year. And I'll show you why. Look at the firewood. Look how much snow is gone. All that snow on top of that firewood gone. There's flies buzzing around it. All right. This is going to be that firewood storage area for this year, and some of the woodshed, but mostly over here. And here's why. I don't want to impede that well-seasoned firewood. There's still half a woodshed full there, and I will put some green stuff in there in front of it, but still allow me access to get to the seasoned stuff. I don't want to block in all that seasoned wood and fill that woodshed up with green wood in front of it. And I'll show you that after. But anyway, here's where the firewood's going to go this year. I'm going to start splitting real soon. Probably when the snow disappears. I'm just getting set up now. I want to get these spring chores, equipment done, oil changes. I want to get all that done and get my equipment ready to go for this year's season for working for myself. Now, on top of that, I just got a phone call yesterday, and tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be tailgating dump truck for the town. They called me and they want me to run dump truck for them. So I went from snow plowing, and I told them I can't work for them all the time. I just can't do it. I want to run my own business. I've worked for other people my whole life as far as full-time work, and I've really had enough of it. I've had enough of society and working full-time and honestly being told what to do all the time and punching in and punching out. Did that my whole life. Eventually that stuff grows old, and I like working for myself. And I know I might be rambling, but it's just the way this video is. Working for myself and my own small business in the summertime, spring till fall, allows me freedom, allows me to set the schedule, allows me to pick and choose the jobs that I want to do. And if you guys are in your business, you know what it's like. Sometimes you can pick a day, you want a day off to do something else, you go do it, or you got to run somebody somewhere here or there, go in the city, you can take a day off. When you're working for somebody else, it's just a lot harder to do all that stuff. And at this point in my life, I'm pretty much in a situation where I can pick and choose, and I like it. So anyway, I'm going to run dump truck for these guys for the spring season a little bit off and on. When they call and they need a hand, no problem, man. As long as I don't have any business lined up or jobs to go to, I'll work for the township. And I thank them for it. I appreciate it, and I'll work for them, but I don't want to do it full time. So, back to the firewood. I got these skids from the city the other day. I'm laying these skids down. I'm going to split this hardwood. I'm going to double split that. That maple comes off a processor. And like I told you before, I don't really like it. And the processors are great. They're very fast and very efficient. I watch them guys run that processor up there, that big diesel, and they just hammer a maple. In no time, that thing is just chopped. In fact, maybe one day I'll go up there, I'll shoot a video, and I'll show you guys this processor. But look at this. Like, what do you do with this monster? I don't want to stick this in my stove. To me, it's too big. I don't like the efficiency of the burn when the log's this big. I just don't like it. So I end up double splitting a lot of wood. This will get split on the splitter and stacked over there. But then again, you can get the perfect little chunks of firewood right here. So that's what I go through. All this 18 cord here, 19 cord, whatever it is, it's gonna be put up here. Off the ground, wind gets at it, and the beauty of this is, I'm gonna try it this year. The beauty of putting firewood here this year outside is right now I'm south. That sun's coming around from the east right now, and it's going to burn right now, as you can tell, from the east, right there. It's going to burn all day from the east. It's going to start cooking that firewood in the morning, and it's going to come around, and I'm going to get sun here pretty much right to the evening. And I'm also going to do something different this year, and I'm going to try it to see, because it takes so long for that maple to dry, that hard maple. It takes a solid year for that wood to get really good. Really, 1.5 to 2 years is ideal, and that's what I have in the woodshed. Very well seasoned, but I'm going to try something different this year. I am going to split this, stack it all up along the whole C-can, and I'm going to drape it with 6mm poly. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to taper a roof down 6mm poly like a greenhouse, and I'm going to taper from the top of the C-can down, and I'm going to bring the poly down, and I'm going to see if I cannot cook that firewood using the solar greenhouse effect on the southern side, and see if I cannot speed up that drying process. I'm really curious. It has to work. It has to cook that firewood, and we'll just see what happens. I want to see if I can really kick the shit out of the moisture in that firewood and see if I can speed that up. It may be half the time, I don't know. But anyway, here's where I stand. Another spring chore. This is going to be a spring, early summer chore. I'll have all this split. Myself and Mary Jane will split it, and we'll put it all here. And that is the plan, right up against the C-can for now. Let's go over here. Now, as you can tell, I'm really happy with the shape we're in with firewood. I burned about half this woodshed out this winter. So the problem being, this is all seasoned wood in here, and I don't want to block the front of this seasoned wood with green wood, stack it and refill the firewood shed. I don't want that. Ideally, this firewood should be set up the opposite way, this shed. This shed should be set up with 2 dividers, or even 3, but 2 for sure. Split it this way, have all your seasoned wood there on this side, ready for the next winter, and all your green wood should be back here on this side, so you can leave all your green wood and come in to the other half and get your seasoned wood. This is actually running the opposite way. And now that I've got multiple years of firewood building up, that would be the ideal situation, where you could have maybe 3 years of firewood here, put a little addition on here, and have 1, 2, 3 stanchions here, or 3 firewood sheds, and that way you're always ahead on your firewood. Because let's face it, you don't want to burn unseasoned firewood. You're wasting your time, and it's hard on your stove, it's hard on your pipes. It's just too much work to burn unseasoned firewood. You don't get your boom for your buck but with green firewood. Don't do it, it's not worth it. So I will definitely put some of this green firewood in the front of that shed, but I'm going to make it so you can get around it and get to your seasoned wood. I almost will make a stacked doorway that you can go in and you can get at your seasoned wood, and I'll fill some of the front of that shed with the green stuff, but most of it's going to go here for the greenhouse effect. So this is kind of a greenhouse firewood spring chore video. So that's what I'm up to right now this morning. And when it comes spring like this, to me, I don't really want to sit in the house. I've been in there all winter, sunshine, and let's get outside and do some work. But anyway, that's what I'm up to now. All right, those forks are almost, you could pretty much say almost done. But you know what? I got to move them over. We're going to move these forks over if we can. There we go. That's what I didn't get last night or yesterday. And that's typically what you got underneath this paint job. Have a look at that. I don't want that. I bet you a set of pallet forks now are at least $1,000 Canadian. And that's probably for a light duty set. The way the prices of steel are, things are not cheap in this country. And the cost of living's high. These things are not light or easy to move. There, that's real time. Every spring, and it's always been the same way for me every single spring. Getting equipment ready. Because my phone has already been ringing on people lining up jobs for this year. And I love doing small jobs, because that's what I do. I have small equipment, so I have to do small jobs. And I'm a one-man show, and I don't want to have to supervise anybody. I don't want anybody really running my equipment. not only for insurance purposes. You have to do a lot of insuring when you take on employees. There's just a whole lot of legalities you got to do. So I keep it as a one-man show, me, owner, operator, and I take on what I can. And what I can't take on, I just pass it off. And I just tell people, I just tell them the honest truth. I can't take it on, and it's too much. I hate turning work down, though. All right. That looks a hell of a lot better. Oh yeah, look at that. Beauty. Well, I painted the bucket up, and I completely forgot about the quick plate. So I'm gonna end up cleaning this quick plate, but I notice behind this quick plate, at that lower pivot point that I always say to keep the grease to, there's a lot of mud built up in there. Right in there. If you look in there, look in there. And that's a major pinch point where it will pack in when you're working. So you got to get in there and just knock it right through the bottom. As I said before, I'm sure some of you guys get tired of watching me do some work in the shop and everything else, but you know what? That's just part of doing business for me. That's how I have to roll. Especially up here in the winter. When there's not a lot to do sometimes. There, and that just gets all the crap out from behind that quick plate. And I've never painted this quick plate since I bought it. You know what I always say, we're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for good. Make it look good. You won't get it perfect, but make it look good. As they would say at Ritchie Brothers, paint her blue, call her new. Slap a coat of paint on anything down there, throw it in the auction. I'm not criticizing them, I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid that I'm going to take a whole lot of hard-earned money that you've taken years to save up and get burned by a bad swing bearing, you know what I'm saying, bad track and drive motors, stuff like that. And it just scares me. Now, if you get something for the right price and you can do the work and you want to do the labor to fix it up yourself and it's cheap, then I could see, yeah. But you got to be able to do that, and you got to want to do it. And not only that, you have to have a place to do it. You got to have a good shop, you got to have the tools to do the job, and you have to be mechanically inclined. So I tend to stay away from things like Ritchie Brothers and all that stuff. It'd be a fun thing to go look at. I've never been to Ritchie Brothers, but I would buy smaller items there, things that are within my control, you know, that are easily fixable, easily movable. Because I cannot see, and I watch it on some of these videos, and I love the videos, don't get me wrong. And I like these guys and what they do, but I can't see going to Ritchie Brothers and buying a wore-out floater trailer, bad wiring, bad bearings, bad tires, bad deck, rotten frame, you know, that kind of stuff. I just can't see, because by the time you upgrade it and you put all your time and effort into it, I just think in the end, you still have something old. The structure of the machine is still old, and I'd rather put a little more money out and go get something that is a bit better. That's just me, but that doesn't apply to everything. And another thing, you guys, I haven't even shown you yet. I sold that Kubota KX080 about a month ago. I never told you guys in the last videos, but I did sell it. I put that Kubota 80 on the internet for sale, but there's a reason why I put it for sale. Not only to make some money, because of the price of used equipment is just outrageous, and that was a good machine, you know. But then again, it's just a machine. It's just a materialistic good, man. You know, they come and they go every day. But that was a good machine. But I looked at it financially, buying that KOX 80 and being up here where I am, moving it and floating it around and everything else, that big machine. And I look at the smaller jobs I do, what would be more efficient for me to have? And as far as in terms of making a dollar, well, I can tell you where I think I would make more money. I would make more money by upgrading to a Kubota SVL track loader. I get more business with a track loader in and around the houses, parking areas, driveways, so far up here than I have buying an 80 series excavator and getting into clearing, parking, building lot, putting driveways in. There's a lot of guys doing that up here, and I'm not saying I couldn't do it. But you have to have time and patience and hard work on your side and want to strive forward and grow your business to that size. I really don't want to. What I'd rather have is an SVL 75 Kubota, get rid of this machine, and just stick with the smaller compact equipment that I can tow around on the float or I can handle on the flatbed of that truck. And I seem to do just as well with that smaller compact stuff than getting into the 80 series machine. Now, I'm not saying I would buy anything for the right price. If I found another one, I'd buy it, but the price has to be right. And it doesn't seem there is any right prices now in the spring. It just seems like used equipment is so expensive now, and there are no deals. It's hard to find a deal on used equipment now. You know why? Because everybody's doing it. There's no quick buck in real estate right now. There's no quick buck in the stock market. I'm not a day trader. There's no money in the stock market for me, and it's been shit for years. It's a big scam. It's just a big burn. That's all that is. So guys are looking for a way to make a quick buck. You can just see it. It's on the internet every day. And they're trying to make a quick buck buying and selling used equipment. If you look at it, the price is way up. But you can only make a buck on used equipment, let's be honest, if you steal it from the guy you're buying it from. And that's what they did here. I had this machine up for sale, but I couldn't find an SVL to replace it, so I backed off on the sale. I had guys coming in here, equipment jockeys. They came in here, trucks and trailers, this winter, and they want to offer you 30 grand, 25 grand for a machine like this. And I go, that's just not happening. Just not going to happen. I realize they have to make money, but not on my back. So hence, I never sold this ASV. But I can see a bigger track loader in my future. It's just the way you have to go. Like the 75 Kubota, great machines, and you don't have to put DEF fluid in them. They're below that 75 horse threshold. The 97s and all that, they're nice machines. They're also 12,000 pounds, and they got more emission stuff on them. So I'm trying to stay away from that. So around this homestead, you guys, you'll never know. Some things will appear and some will disappear. That's just the way it is. All right, I got this quick plate painted on the front. I'm going to have to pressure wash the back a little bit because it's a little bit crusted with shit in the back. So I'll pressure wash this sometime later, whenever I get a chance and the sun's out. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. And I'm just out here getting these spring chores done, and I'll have plenty more to do. And we'll keep getting at her. Thanks for tuning in.